Good morning, good morning. It's dark. October days. Although I did hear from Australia this morning, and they were very excited that it was springtime, and I'm very excited that it's fall here, so we'll all be excited wherever we are. I was thinking this morning about how important it is to feel the difference, to be different. And so if we think about that we are standing in the center of a field, and that means we have 365 degrees of possibility around us. And let's say going back feels like I'm reversing in my evolution. I'm returning to some state that I knew, but it doesn't serve me. And moving forward is where I'm headed. And yet those are 2 points. So that actually means we have 363 degrees of alternation that we could be falling one way or falling another. That I can catch myself waking and wanting to be in a certain state of mind. Even better, I can wake and want Adam to be in a certain state of mind, and then I tie my state of mind to his state of mind, which is gorgeous, right? Like the perfect way to be sure your state of mind will not be stable is to tie it to someone else. So firstly, you can cut that and just be in your state of mind. I can just be in my state of mind. And I can allow myself the full range of where I'm capable of going, the full range of where I'm capable of feeling and being and experiencing. As long as I'm not aiming to return to the familiar place that I started from. Each day as we practice this, it is an act of evolution. You'll notice that this sequence is so simple, and the warm-up and the sequence itself is made of pieces that we know from before. They are familiar to us. And sometimes being familiar to ourselves, like, oh, right, this feels like me in a good mood, is useful. And sometimes this is me is very limiting, especially when you've chosen to take 60 minutes to actively evolve yourself. Otherwise, you're wasting your 60 minutes. So we need to feel differently at the end. And that means that we have to allow a difference along the way. That might mean that each day we arrive here, we move through the sequence differently. Listen to your body, listen to the time of day, listen to how the seasons are changing. Be different in all possible capacities and be comfortable with that difference a little at a time. Keep allowing whatever alternation, whatever change of light is happening around you and within you, that's okay. Because that acceptance is what's going to allow you to accept your own growth and all the changes that growth brings. You are strong enough to move forward. You are strong enough to hold a new state of mind. And that's where we're going. You are strong enough to hold a different understanding of your existence here. But it has to be stronger than who you were a minute ago. Allow yourself to be different. Allow yourself to be changed. Palms together. Om Namo, I bow to everything outside of me, guiding me, healing me, holding me. Guru Dev Namo, I bow to everything inside of me, all my wisdom, all my ways, especially the ones that don't look like wisdom. 3 times. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Roll your shoulders and roll your wrists and shake it out. When we come onto hands and knees, there is no music. There is no music for this sequence so that we can just feel and find our own rhythm. So on the hands and knees, cat-cow. Heels of the hands just ahead of the head of the shoulder. Tuck your chin, drop your head, start out with a wag of your tail. Eye into the side body, into the back body, and from that rounding, drop your navel, roll your throat forward. And then return. So you begin at a pace that explores the body. And you come to notice what aspect is sticky. Come to notice your own attitude towards your movement. I can have such a demand in my body. I can have such a demand in my movement. Come on, right? Maybe there's a little more tenderness. Turn your thumbs forward, turn your fingers to point away. And lightly try to pull your hands apart to open through the upper back, the upper chest. Inviting a change. Without knowing what the change will be, I am inviting a change in my spine. Turn your hands again, left thumb turns left, right fingers turn right. Fingers point towards your knees, open from the balls of your fingers. The base of the knuckles, up through the forearms, across the collarbones. A little more tenderness, a little more celebration, a little more effortlessness. 10, 9, 8, 2, and center, and turn your fingers forward and sit your hips back and find your child's pose. And drum out your fingers to relieve your wrists and open your chest and your armpits a little bit side to side. Rise up and set your blocks outside the mat, just in case you find your dog. And the legs and the hips and the hamstrings will be sticky and short, perhaps. So you step your right foot up inside your right thumb, your left knee down, and your hands come up to let your hips move forward and back. Just a little forward and back. And as you do, you're encouraging your left hip to tack forward, your right hip to tack back. Just feel that momentum. Back toes are tucked under. Take your right armpit and fit it over your right knee. So if needed, hands are wide and onto the blocks if you need the blocks, or fingertips to the floor. Wherever you go, widen your arms as much as they'll go. So as you allow your hips that little forward and back motion, each forward is your knee taking your shoulder girdle forward. And what it's doing is taking the underside, the front of your spine, a little further forward. Widen your perspective. Widen into the corners of your eyes. And then just 3 breaths. Your right knee and your right armpit, your left hip coming forward, your heart opening, your throat, the palate of your mouth. And then stepping back dog. Be aware of your right hand down into the floor. Your right hip high into the ceiling. And your right heel back and down. And let the left side be soft. Just working one side at a time. And the left foot will step up. Inside the thumb, the right knee down, the hands to the thigh, a little forward, a little back. So we start out with a little mobility, a little question. The right hip coming forward, the left hip coming back. Squaring that axis of shoulders, spine, and hips. Your left armpit goes in front of your left knee. Hands to the blocks or hands wide to the floor. And that little forward and back. That notice your hips go back will round you a little. It's as though you have a tiny cat-cow and your left knee is inching your heart forward. As you're ready, become still. Widen your perspective. Can you see out of the corners of your eyes? Can you draw your heart through? And how does it change your breath and your expression? Right to the root of your tongue. And as you return to downward facing dog, be aware of the left hand down and through the floor, the left hip high and the left heel back, right side soft. Then walk your dog, wag your tail. Feeling how the underside of your body right here, the armpits, the chest, the throat has been lengthened. Just walk your feet to your hands, sit your seat down. Feel like you can fold your blanket in half one more time, get a little bit more height, or keep it as it is. Heels are down, toes point up, as though standing on the wall ahead of you. Hands out, thumbs up. As you come forward, separate your hands. As you come back, they come together. So inhale, open, exhale, close. Each day, the sensation of being in this beautiful physical body is different. So go gently into the tops of your shoulders. Inhale forward, exhale back. Close your eyes and find a steady rhythm, 45 seconds. You're connecting to the soles of your feet, creating total grounding. A little quicker. And the quickness isn't by pulling on the arms, it's in your feet. It gets a little heat in the belly. 5, 4, 3, 2. As you sit tall, widen your heels. So I'm going to double up, get a little bit higher. And widening your heels, shake out your feet, shake out your knees. And a little side to side to start. From the hip to the hand, finding length. And then you'll turn your heart towards your thigh. So left hand inside the right and wide. Right hand inside the left. Hands on either side is most modified. So you can sit and support yourself, or you're starting to reach the inside hand a little further. And as you choose, eventually the back hand is reaching away from the floor, and you're revolving, turning the navel away from the center. So can you turn right from the navel and let the upper body follow? And just notice if you're turning yourself at your shoulders or are you turning yourself at your navel? 3, 2, good, good, good. And 1, sitting up tall. So this clarity from the navel to the feet, a certainty in our body. Interlace your fingers and stir a great pop. And now begin to relate the legs to the back. Moving through the spine and the shoulder. The feet are bright, still standing on the wall ahead of you. 5, 4, 3, 2. Reverse your direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, come upright. And now pause, just notice. Let it be different than how you began. That's why you did it. As you lie back, bring your blocks with you. Knees are bent, feet are flat. Such a simple opening here. It seems like it wouldn't make any difference. But it does. So, with your hands to your blocks, bring your hips up, and your blocks are on their lowest setting. They're on their bellies, and you fit their sides together. And you rest your low back. Heels a little wide, toes a little in. Palms down beside the blocks. Arms straight, forearms down. And just on an inhale, take your right hand overhead. Stay here, exhale. Inhale, stay. Little reach. Invite the breath up, up. And on your exhale, bring it back down. Left hand overhead. Stay here, breathing out. As you breathe in, open the whole left side body. Right up to the armpit. And on your exhale, bring it down. You may stay right there or lift your hips and set the blocks on their sides, bellies together. Left palm flat to the floor, right hand overhead. And stay a breath. Stand more clearly in your right heel. Open more fully through the right side rib and shoulder. And then bring it down. Right palm flat to the floor, left hand overhead. And just pausing, the back of your left hand to the floor, heavy and easy. The top of the left shoulder on the floor. The left heel heavy. How can you assist in opening the left side body? And down. Maybe you keep it right there. Maybe you stand in your heels and lift up. Turn your block to their tails. Left palm flat, right hand overhead. So again, weight in your right heel. Space through the right hip, right shoulder to the floor, right palm open. And the breath into the right lung all the way from your knee to your armpit. And back down. Left hand overhead. Stand in your left heel. Let the left hip release. Let the breath all the way up into the left side collarbone. And then both hands down. Remove the blocks, hips to the floor. Notice the front surface of your body. as a building energy, an aspect of Brahmana. Bring your hands to your shins, bring your knees wide, shake out your feet, hug your thighs to your body. And as you roll your way up, you'll find a bit of a squat and you'll stand tall. Left hand holds the right wrist, take it all the way up and over to the left. And then you'll bring it back down into a squat, palms together. Right hand holds your left wrist, go up, go over, right. Palms together, sit it down. It might mean just that you take your tail back. Perfect. Left hand to right wrist, go up, go left. Down to your squat, however deep is yours. Right hand, left wrist, go right. Stand in the left heel. And then exhale down. And inhale up. Your pace, your body. From the navel to the heel, reach down. From the heart to the hand, reach up. For 3. For 2. So that as you come down, you build your seat. Feeling as you do the height through your spine, the stability in your body. And we settle in. Could I have your phone with the stopwatch running, please? And we turn left and we turn right. So modification is fingertips to the ribs, palms face the body. In left, out right. Turning from the navel. As that feels steady, beautiful, thank you. Fingertips to your shoulders, palms face down. As that feels steady, palms face forward, elbows wide. Full Kriya. Interlace your fingers at the base of your skull, your thumbs point down. Now we're here another 2 minutes. And so anytime you need, respect your shoulders and find the modification that works. Inhale left, exhale right, and use it as a chance to just begin to mobilize the spine. Invite a little tenderness. It is not athleticism. It's a reverence for the form you have. Thank you, body. Remembering your posture with those blocks beneath your low back. Keep the chest rising. Loosen the eyes in their sockets. Be changed. 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Sit tall. Inhale. 3 sips. Tuck your chin hard up, elbows wide. Lift the pelvic floor. Draw up, up, up through the heart, through the navel, through the throat, crown of the head. Lift your chin, lift your hands, and breathe out and down. Notice. Shake out your legs. Rebuild the cross of your seat, keeping your heels forward. And with a strap, set the strap behind you, the width of your hips. And the strap can be as wide as it needs to be to feel safe through the shoulders. Heels are under your knees. Inhaling, the heart is high. On your exhale, you're folding over. So inhale up and exhale down. And you take your time, listen to your body. And if you have very flexible shoulders, narrow the strap so that the strap does not allow your hands to go further forward than the shoulders, so that you can't get your hands overhead, just perpendicular to the floor. For 3, 2, and sitting up tall, release the strap, hands on thighs. Now notice and allow yourself to be very different through the arms and the shoulders and the chest and the face. And then be more and more different. Just revel in it, explore it, be rearranged. How does it want to sit? How does it change the chest? How does it change the seat? Are you willing to be changed? Set your strap in your blanket aside, knees bend, feet flat, hands back behind you, so that open capacity of your chest now. Elbows bend and then wrap in. So we did this in Vishuddha. Bend your elbows wide and then wrap them in. So that the elbows in hard up is a great place if you want to stay there. Open your mouth, a whisper of ha. Keep the breath, close your mouth, out the nose, hard up. Step your heels 1/2 step forward, and using your heels, lift your hips, keep the steady breath, and then sit your hips back and down. If you need to modify for your wrists, you turn your thumbs forward, your fingers point away. A little quicker, last 20 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, legs out long, sit up tall, hands on thighs, notice. across the chest, across the face, through the spine to the crown of your head. Effortless in your body. Releasing the effort of the practice, the postures, the gesture, the breath, and receiving what they make, what they provide for you. Just that little moment of integration. Roll yourself up to a standing posture. Palms face the floor. So simple. On your exhale, tail back. Knees track back over the ankles. On your inhale, you stand up. It's slow and steady. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Twenty-four. 23. Eyes closed as you're ready, or eyes on one steady point. The palms facing the floor. The exhalation as you bend down, a grounding posture. Maybe if there's space, hips coming down toward the heels. There's no hurry in the body. The breath is the same count down as the same count up. Heels hugging in. And allow all the large joints of the legs to just open and close. You might start to get a little intensity, a little bit of a charge. And that's when we trust our own pace and rhythm that we've created, just steady, just so steady. And the temptation to just stop, the temptation to check out, you just stay with the body and the breath. 5 more. Becoming unflappable, unshakable. Standing tall. Now as you put your hands down, palms face forward, there's going to be some upheaval. Like a sensation of waves rising up through the body. And you keep your breath full and smooth and you let that happen. That you are not that upheaval, but the upheaval is necessary. You breathe it in, you breathe it through, you let it pass, and there's a quiet. Hands down the backs of your legs, knees bent, folding down. Up the backs of your legs, reaching high, unfold. And down the legs and folding in, exhaling. And unfolding. So there's again this steadiness, but now we're drawing energy up through the body. Unfolding. The navel opens, the chest opens. So the knees bent, hands down the legs is a modification. Especially important if you have tight hamstrings so you don't translate that tension into the low back. the full posture, most classically taught, hands forward, and then inhaling back up, arms staying beside the ear, legs staying straight. So if you're a super classicist and you want that version, that's fantastic, but please be aware of how much strain that puts on your low back, and your body needs to be ready for it. So I will spend the first 10 days right here. So that we can build intelligent strength that carries our postures and our practice forward without injury. Ten more. Last one. Without folding, your hands sweep wide, your palms face forward. Notice, and again, inviting upheaval. Notice if it's changed, if it's any different. And notice your steadiness inside of that experience. You are a column of light, a being of light. Let the experience, the sensation pass through. Feet a little wider, hands up high as though holding a great ball, those fitness balls overhead. And take the fitness ball to the left and then to the right. So a little bend in your knees if you need to, but from your navel to your feet, you do not move. From the heart to the hand, that's where this is bending. And really it's from the space of the mid-spine right to the crown of the head that we're most interested in. Inhale left, exhale right. Closing your eyes, finding that aspect of steadiness so that what's experienced on the outside, this great movement side to side, is fine. And we become this simple breath, steadfast on the inside. And it isn't about how far you go. Sometimes trying to overachieve takes us off balance. Make it a little lighter and a little smaller. 6, 5. For 2. And for 1. Excellent. Wide now. Palms face forward. Notice the space that surrounds you. Notice the space within. Don't lock out your knees. Body open. So we've created this clarity, this steadfast place. Now we want to see. We're good at driving the car at 20 miles an hour. What happens if we Go to 45 or 60, hands to your hips, tap your heels. Tap your heels. So it's all good when you're doing nice, sweeping, general movements that you might feel familiar with. But what happens if you're asked to do what you're not familiar with? What happens when you're asked to handle a situation that you really don't want to be in? Hug, hug, hug. H-A-R is the sound of all creation, of that which is brought into being. And so with each tap of your heel, a little quicker, you have a hug. And we're going to add a little bit of a hop to it if you're ready. Goes hug, 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 hug. And the hug is a pump of your breath from the navel. You're activating the navel. You're activating the chest with the sound. You're creating more power. Hug, 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 hug. So what if this was your stamina to celebrate something? You'd be like, yeah, that's enough. I don't want to celebrate anymore. I just want to stand here and be inert. Hug, 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 hug. 30 seconds. Hug, 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 hug. 5, 4, 3, 2. Stand, palms open. Let it through, let it through. Let it through. All of it. Everywhere it goes. Everywhere it goes. If you need to shift your feet, shift your hands. Let it through. Deepen your breathing. Fortify your center. I am this. I am that which is steadfast inside the experience. Beat of your heart. Bring it to your cross-legged seat. So if cross-legged seat doesn't work for you, you sit in a chair. If you've broken your foot or your ankle, I hear you. Sit in your chair and do hug and march in place with your, very gently, right? All of this is available to all of us. Sitting tall, notice. There is a strength within you. Release the attention of the beat of your heart, the pulse of your blood. Bring your attention into quiet, the power under all of it. Your attention to the midbrain. Your attention forward from the midbrain to the third eye of Ajna, our perception. As we settle into a mantra here, we use the sound to move energy through our body. We use our attention to draw each syllable from the exhalation at the navel through to the midbrain and out the third eye center. Each syllable is a little projection because we want to be accessing with our awareness the prefrontal cortex, our ability to imagine ourselves as different can be activated. If all I can imagine is myself as surviving, I'm lodged in that reptilian brainstem of eat and compete. So each syllable comes out through the center of your forehead, bringing light to the front of the brain. And the syllables we use move us through the life cycle of all things. Thumb and first fingertips touch, and this is the syllable sa, birth, beginning. Middle finger and thumb touch, and this is ta, continuation, life. Ring finger and thumb touch, and this is na, conclusion, the end. But pinky and thumb is ma, which is return, rebirth. So thumb and first fingertip, sa, ta, na, ma. This is how we will move through the syllables. Each syllable will come through the forehead center. For 1 minute we will do it aloud, for 1 minute we will whisper, for 2 minutes we will repeat in our minds silently, and then for a minute whisper, and for a minute out loud. You will begin to feel a pulse of sound, of frequency, of currency into the front of the brain and out. We're moving through the cycle of all things, the cycle of relationships, of life, of projects, of seasons. Become unstuck, become cyclical. And we go. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Sa, ta, na, whisper. Sa, silently. Keep the rhythm in your fingertips. Keep the movement through your mind out the forehead center. still. 1 minute, be totally still. And in your stillness, try a little more tenderness. That there is no rigidity here. There is a welcome at the deepest aspect of your stillness. There is an invitation to come closer. And all of you is welcome. I am this. And I am welcome. Right at my depths, at my most sacred place, I am entirely welcome. That is our great act of evolution. I am this. Stay as long as you like, and as you're ready, the hands widen and relax. All of it, all of it, all of it. It's what you came for. Palms together, thumbs to your forehead, center. There is no failure in you. I am this, and I bow to it all. 8 count Sat, 2 count Nam. Inhale. Nam. Sat Nam. Have a fantastic afternoon. Thank you for your practice. Welcome to October, or whichever month you arrive in. Know that this day is a gift. It's what you signed up for. It's what you're here for. Get it all. It's passing quickly. And I will be back. So good to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So as we begin this sequence, let me know if you would like to be a part of Soul Soil. It's an opportunity to meet on a call to get further instruction, further depth from me, one-on-one, and at the same time hear from other people what their experiences of this sequence are, how it's affecting their thinking or their families or their work. I will see you so soon. Sadnam.